Right, so I've got the RV all torn apart here because ordered solar panels, and when I haven't really needed solar on the RV before because between the generator and the motor, anytime you're traveling, the alternators are charging the batteries, and anytime you're plugged in anywhere, your converter's charging the batteries, and anytime you're in the generator, you're charging the batteries. So it never really became a need. But since I've been boondocking here in people's driveways, what I'm finding, and it's hot outside, what I'm finding is that it's just getting real annoying trying to run extension cords from one's house when I don't really have to. And then the final straw was what I realized is this generator is getting pretty old and a lot of hours on it. And what I found out is that when you run it too hard, it's wanting to overheat. And no one, pretty much everyone I took it to couldn't figure out why it wasn't wanting to keep running under load. And pretty much with a lot of research, I figured out it is just pretty much just overheating. It's just old. I mean, there's some things you could do to help keep it cooler, and I don't know if it's boiling the fuel because the fuel's getting too hot. I think that's actually most likely how it's overheating is that. But one way or another, if it gets too hot, it doesn't work. So what I figured out is that when I'm needing to run the air conditioning, if all the generator has to do is run the air conditioning and not anything else in the RV, then it seems to be fine and can handle it. And so what I do is I switch the converter off and let the batteries run everything on the RV, and just let the generator run the air conditioner, and that works really well. So that's why the solar comes into place. And now if I put this 400 watts, I got four panels here, 400 watts of solar up there, and have that guy running, then I could probably just leave the converter, like the power from the generator to the batteries, to the converter, just leave it off, and that probably is enough most of the time just to charge the batteries. And then the engine will of course charge the batteries when I'm driving, and I mean, obviously at times it's not a problem to have the converter on, but that'll allow me when I want to run the air conditioning just to leave that off, let the solar power run everything, not have to run an extension cord from the neighbor's house when I'm sitting for a long time, and so all of the above. So it's just time. I know that's a lot of words, but that was the final reasoning, is because of the generator situation. So anyway, let me show you how I'm going to do this. I just kind of got started figuring it out.
A new place, a new home, for a while, let me feel alive. Nothing to hold me back, take my time, just enjoy the ride. A new man passing by, life is good, best I've ever felt.
So I'm down here under the RV fin, and I'm trying to plan the best route to get solar power wires from the roof of the RV down to where the battery compartment is. And this is where all the electrical is running from the main electrical panel and from various places back and forth in the RV comes through the floor. And they just foamed up the hole after they ran all the wires through, so if I can refoam it. But just kind of seeing if there's a lot of room in this hole, I can clear it out, maybe shove wires through and then reseal it. Might work. So, not sure yet. Fortunately, my fish tape is not with me, and that would be real nice to shove a fish tape up through there, but maybe I'll shove the screwdriver through there and then go inside and see if I see it on the other end. Still for working out how this is going to happen, but this is the plan anyway. Okay, so right here, right up about the dead center of the RV, is the electrical center, and as you can open this, and I took the back panel off here, and you can actually look in and see all the way the actual ceiling in there. And this is a channel that runs all the way down behind all the electrical, and so all the wiring for this runs down through this, down behind here. This is where there was a where is it, carbon monoxide detector, which I can put back in, but that thing needs to be replaced anyways. So carbon monoxide detector, so the hole for that allowed me to see where all this electrical is running down, because it runs down under the chassis. Then I was able to go down below and find out where it comes through, and with a little help I was able to stick the fish tape up all the way through. And so now I know I can get wire from down below to up above all the way to the roof of the RV. So that's the challenge, is getting your solar power down below, because batteries and everything are down below. So then let me show you what I'm doing once it gets down below. Okay, so this is what I'm thinking at this point. This RV does have, I think I've briefly shown this on other videos at some point, but this RV does have a split electrical system. So has this separate panel here that is powered from the main AC panel, and everything on this panel runs through the multi-plus inverter. And so everything here is powered by the batteries in the inverter. And so my plan is to go ahead and put the controller, the solar controller, right here. So this guy is a Victron 130, and it's a Bluetooth. I made sure to get the Bluetooth one because that's way easier to work with. If you're going to get one, just pay the little extra money and get the Bluetooth so you can program it and access the information on it. I'm going to go ahead and put a little fuse in. This is a 30 amp fuse, so this has a 30 amp capability. It's a 30 amp fuse. I think I'm going to go ahead and just put the little fuse right here, because it's just the easiest place. It's right with the other circuit breakers. If I wanted to shut off power from the solar panels, I can just come right here and shut off the power to the solar panels, and make it, if I want to make it safe to work on down here. So I think just right here is where I'm going to mount everything. It's well ventilated down here. This is where all the electrical is, so I can actually access the ground and the hot to the battery right here on this crazy looking custom RV panel here. It's a little different than a standard bus bar that I've seen, but anyway, it works. So anyway, that's the plan. I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna get those wires pulled through. Now that I know I can get them down from the roof, I can get them down here under in the underside. Okay, so I pre-prepared my wire to pull, wrapping a good portion of it here in this flexible conduit, and that's what's going to run under the underside of the RV. It'll be zip tied on, and then I don't know if maybe I'll go into a little lesson on wiring solar panels, but essentially I'm going to wire two of them in series, and then the resulting pairs in parallel. I think I said that right. Series parallel. Anyway, yeah, so essentially we're going to double the voltage and double the amperage with the 4 panels, and by wiring them that way. And that's about the right combination for the wire as far as voltage and amperage, that I can run that wire down. So that's the plan, and they're going to get to pulling wire. Okay, so down here under the RV, and you can see here where I pulled out, this was foamed, so critters couldn't get through, but I had to kind of hollow out the foam. And so here's the wire here. The lighting is terrible, but anyway, I'm taping the wiring on. Taping the wire on. And the first part of this wire is just bare wire, but then I've kind of measured it out so it will get to the conduit. I want the conduit to run through here, so I'll know to pull this through till I see conduit, and then I'll know I've got about the right amount. Something along those lines. I'll figure it out. So yeah, I think I just about got it taped enough, so we'll start pulling. A little luck will get this wire all the way through. Come on, why are you hard right there? So my plan is I'm going to as I put this fish tape back through here, I'm going to attach a wire onto him for the future, so that if anyone, me or someone who owns this in the future, wants to try to pull a wire back up through here, it'll be possible. And I have an old chase wire. What did I do with it? Oh, right here. Yeah, I'm gonna send this guy back through with a wire extra just for the future if I find my tape. And then I got this guy coming up. Good job. That should be fine. Okay. So I'm ready to start snaking this wire through down under the RV here, and I've got way too much wire, I know. Just, you know, so it's a pain in the ass in that respect. I'm pulling like probably 20 extra feet of wire through, but the reason for that is I don't want to waste any wire if I don't have to, and I like to have enough to use this for another project down the road. So rather than cut it way long, because it sucks to cut it short, it really screws you over. So I'm just going to run tons of wire through and then cut it exactly where it needs to be on the other end and save as much as I can. So it's going to be kind of a pain in the ass job running it the length of the RV like this, but here we go. So doing pretty good here. I found a kind of a path to follow on this one here. Oh, nice job. Alright, just came right over the top of the frame. I'm not too worried about that, and I'm going to zip tie everything into place here pretty soon, but this is where the old battery box is, right here. Good thing I'm skinny, because I'm up here above the drive shaft and exhaust pipes and stuff, squeezed in and trying to get this wire through. But right there is that compartment, the ventilated compartment, so I'm literally there. Just got to get this shoved through, and can't really, there's no way to mount this camera to show it, but that's what I'm doing. I'll get it through. Climbing around in here is turning into a tangled mess. God, it's a freaking annoying part of this kind of job. Well, get it. Just tired of having crap falling in my face and thing all being a pain in the ass, but okay. Like I said, I knew I had way too much wire, but this way I can cut it perfectly to length. Okay. There we go. There you go. I did measure it out pretty dang good. This wrapped wires come out actually perfect. So I could have probably just cut it off there, but I wanted to be sure. Alright, so gotta go sort it on the other end still, but we're getting close. I almost forgot one of the other major reasons for the solar system, and that is when the RV's just parked for any reason. I don't think about that since I'm living in it right now, but during the times it's just been parked, the batteries do slowly drain, and over time they'll just go completely flat, including not as quickly, but including the starter battery. Well, the cool thing is the solar here, which will power the batteries, which will power this multi-plus and this panel. Well, the multi-plus also charges at a lower voltage the starter battery for the motor. So that is awesome. So the solar will keep all the batteries in the RV topped up when it's just parked, so it's awesome. So I anticipated that it was going to be difficult to pull this wire with the conduit up through, and it was, so I actually planned it out perfectly, I think. So now I'm going to go ahead and wrap this in conduit as well and run it all the way through the wall in conduit, but it'll be a lot easier to pull it the rest of the way wrapped by waiting to wrap it, because if I had to pull this full length through with it wrapped, it would have been such a huge pain in the neck getting it through there. So I think I am going to shut off all power. That's a 12-volt circuit panel down there. I don't know, I'm not going to take it apart if I can help it. I'm going to just run a fish tape through the wall, so I don't know how exposed it is in the back, and my fish tape is metal. So we're going to shut all power off to the RV when we go through here, just to be safe. Once it's through in conduit, it's going to be fine, but the fish tape is the one thing that I'm worried about. So once I pull it through, I'll turn power back. I won't be worried about it. Okay, I can quit whacking my head on everything. Be a lot happier camper. I have got the fish tape run up behind the electrical panels here, so I don't have to try to take any of that apart. All right, so it's kind of a celebration because the wire is officially pulled all the way through here to the back of the, I don't know what you call this, where all the different things are. I think one nice thing is if I or someone wanted to come through and put a like a smart battery monitor, one of the new Victron, you know, I forget what you call the model, but one where you can just monitor and control everything, including your solar panels. With the chase wire here, it'd be easy to pull a wire back through down underneath and run it for that. So I'm glad I put that in, and I'll just tie it up in here somewhere so it's easy to find the next time. And then the wrapped wire for the solar panel is ready to go all the way up through the ceiling or through the roof. And so yeah, that's going to be that's the next thing to figure out, because I don't want to hit duct work. But I do have a nice positioning because the vent for the shower goes up right here. So obviously there's no ductwork there. So I could probably figure this out. Hey guys, so just wanted to share something for those of you who don't know about this. You've got your waste gates on your RV tanks, and gray water and black water. And for me, this gray water one's been getting real sketchy. It frequently leaks and drips, and since the gray water I haven't worried about it too much. But then I realized that you can buy the replacements real easy and cheap, especially on Amazon. It didn't cost anything, got here in one day. Well, in a stable spot, it's a good time to do it. So yeah, it's as simple as undoing these 4 screws, and I'm doing that now, and then I'll I've never done it before, but I'll show you what happens when I do that. Yeah, so once I took the little screws out, this little guy just, a little bit of flexibility here, this guy can just come out. One thing I could see is that maybe, I don't know this, how loose this guy is, he just doesn't seal up good anymore. Maybe tightening those screws might have actually helped a little bit, but just as good. I got a nice tight new one I can stick in here, and there's little gaskets on both sides. I took the old gaskets out, I'll put the new ones in and see how it goes. Okay, so I'm putting the new screws back in, and I'm actually using the same ones that were here because they're in good condition, and they're a little shorter than the new ones that came with, and that seems to suit this tight situation better. So yeah, I'll put the other 2 in, and everything seems to fit just fine. Tighten it up, see what happens. So yeah, just tighten these guys up, and this one's nice and seems to be nice and tight. I'm assuming that's closed all the way. I'm gonna leave it closed and make sure that seals. Use some water and stuff. While I'm camped here, notice I probably shown this stuff before, but I have the little hose connection so I can drain gray water, water the trees and stuff around here off it. So that's why that's on there. But we'll leave that tank closed for a while and see that it seals up all the way. It actually seals up, and then got my new sewer line, like regular sewer lines here that I just got. Still figuring out how to store those, but they're kind of nice because they have caps on the ends, so if it's you got stinky, you don't have to have like stinky lines. You can cap them and then have them stay clean when they're inside. So that's nice. All right, that's a little messy, but not gonna worry about it right now. So I'm starting to get the wiring together here for the solar, and I'm not going to fix these in position until I got the wires in. It's just easier to see what you're doing when you can move them around. Then I'll kind of figure out exactly where I want them and screw them down to the bottom here. So anyway, positive's going to route through the circuit breaker. Negative's going to go right into the controller. And then I've got these leads, which I can connect directly to the RV, and I'm actually going to cut the red one. I think I've got enough length to just do a little short run from the fuse into here, and then use the other end of it to go right up to the hot of the bus bar up there. So we're going to see if that will reach. Otherwise, I've got more of these terminals. I can just crimp them on. It's not the end of the world, but anyway, that's all there is to it. So I just need to get hot lead from the fuse into here, and then to the battery. I'll create a couple leads and connect in, and so that's where we're at. So I'm liking what I got. I did have enough length that this guy will reach just perfectly over to where he's gonna connect. And the negative, I actually made the final decision on what I'm doing with that, because I could strip the wire and stick, kind of put it in there, but I think I'm gonna unbolt something. Maybe I'll actually just put it up there and bolt it on with the other negative right to the frame. You can see that clearly, I'm not sure, but I might do that. So I'll figure that out. I'm not gonna hook this up till I'm really ready, because till I'm ready to hook the solar panels on, and then we'll hook everything up. But I guess if I keep the fuse broke, it wouldn't matter too much. But I'm just gonna hold off on that right now. But I am gonna get these guys screwed into their position, I think, and tightened down and kind of ready to go. Okay, so I'm here and working on running the solar wire, and I finally drilled through, and I was able to sneak in behind where the panel would cover everything up here, right there. And there's all kinds of things I run across online for penetrating, for penetrating through the roof, and I've actually used different boots and things, and in my experience I get just as much problem and leaks and leak potential, with all these things, is just putting a small hole, getting the wire through and caulking it. So I don't know, personal preference I guess, but I've had just as good luck. And that's from boat life. The RV is way easier to deal with than a boat as far as that goes. So yeah, that's my way of doing it, just caulk it up. So while I'm up here on the roof, I figured it's a good time to do a little maintenance. I got my little decaulking tool here, and where the fiberglass caps are at the front and back of the RV, they put a little transition piece and just this sticky ass goo, and I noticed it had been starting to, not on the one side it's fine, but on the roof side it was starting to get a little questionable looking. So I just scraped out the excess, and I'm going to recalk that joint to keep it fresh and not have to worry about any leaks. The rest of the roof's actually in really good shape. Just around, I might maybe some recalking around some of the protrusions. That's something I'm going to clean those real good so I can recalk them while I'm up here anyway doing the solar system. There's one weird spot, I don't know what it was, right here. Who knows? This is like, it's not a patch, I don't think. I don't know what that is. It's weird. And the roof looks great except right there where those little squares are, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. Have to maybe it is a patch and the patch is cracking. I don't know. Not sure what to do about that yet. Thinking on it. So this RV used to have a satellite dish, and I've actually not done anything to remove the old wires for it, because I might go ahead and get one of the flat mobile Starlink dishes, and if I do that, I won't use the same wire, but I'll probably use the same penetration and just swap the wire for what's already here, and I'll mount it right there. So perfect spot for it. Have to think about if you park somewhere with trees, I guess. I don't know. It's perfect because I'd put the router right down in the compartment under here. There's power to it, so yeah. I like how that's already pre-set up, and that's about it. I'm just gonna recalk some things up here when I do the solar panels. I brought one solar panel up here to start figuring out how I want them. I'm just gonna make it so you can still walk along the roof and just mount them. There's 4 of them that just kind of mount them in a pattern around the wire, and in a manner in which you can still kind of get around them and access them, and so it'll work out real easy and nice. There's so much room up here, I could put way more power if I wanted, but I just don't need it, I don't think. That's all for this week, but next week I'm tackling several other projects and finishing the solar system and testing it out, so looking forward to that.